Right, I was hoping to not have to have a video on this or make another video on this, but yeah, nah, yeah, it's just like I want to talk about. Like, this is probably like the worst game I played in a long while. Like, I think the only one that's worse than this is probably The Block, but if you want to even call that a game. But basically, my plan was I was going to walk around, show off some of the cool stuff I built in this other server that I was playing, but like the server's been turned offline. Yeah, basically, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna keep it brief because there's only so long I can sit on a menu screen with, for people. But basically, right. So the problem with this game, maybe it's the game, maybe it's like the servers, maybe it's the community. I don't know, right? I realize that making this video saying this game's terrible isn't going to help the community in any stretch, but I don't care. Like, the game is pretty terrible, right? So basically, um, at the last server, like a few people on it were invited me and said, "Oh yeah, we're going to move to this server, the Shake and Bake server, from Eureka 2.0." And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. So I was like, oh, I'll check it out. I'll give it a second chance. So I was playing on that server. It was modded, so it had like quite a lot of quality of life mods actually. So instead of have to pick up all the rocks automatically go to your inventories. The stack sizes were increased. All that sort of stuff, right? Um, Basically, even then, like it's sort of like I built a bridge, like a really cool looking bridge. I can't show it here because the server's offline. I managed to actually build my house, but can't show it here because the server's offline. Although I didn't actually finish my house, so yeah, there's that. But basically, yeah, it's just like so it was said like, oh yeah, we're gonna wipe on Friday, right? Like, all these server owners are obsessed with wiping, man. Like, they don't see enough players and they want to wipe. And I get it, like, if you're paying to run a server or you have your hardware and all that, yeah, sure, you probably want like a lot of players on it, right? But the thing is, it's like, yeah, there's not enough players playing this game, and that's just the thing. Like, both times I've seen like a server running, it's just like the population drops off. Like there's nothing that you can do about it, right? So basically, it's either like maybe the community don't play enough, maybe like there's like the servers are just terrible, and this was like a pretty high quality of life modded server. Like you had like plenty of ways to actually do stuff. Like it's not like the other one where my stockpiles were taking up too much room. Like basically, I had like on average, the stockpiles can hold 5 times as much stuff as they could on the other server. So, but even then, I was still like having tons of space issues. So yeah, basically, like yeah, it's kind of tragic in a way because it's like yeah, basically the way it is a game kind of works on a sense of like it's like Minecraft, but you have to have an economy running. You have to rely on other people to do stuff. And basically, the thing about that is, it's like you're basically relying on other people. But if other people don't play, then you don't play. Then everyone stops playing, and it's just like, yeah, well, it is what it is at that point. Then like the server, and it's like, oh, no one's playing. I'll wipe it, and then like you get like so this used to be like a 28-day meteor, but now it's changed to 14-day meteor. Like they're hoping that will increase activity by actually having people work on it. Um, but yeah, no, it's just a case of well, what can I really do? Like I should have recorded some of the other stuff when I was on, but like I don't think it would shut down as fast as it was. So there's that. Yeah, but basically, like, this is probably like one of the worst games I've played in a long time. Like, it really is. Like, and from what I can understand, it's sort of like, there's no real, um, from what I can understand, there's no real like, you have your own sort of like worlds that you can like play on. Maybe there is, like, maybe there's something that you can put in your LAN section here or local worlds, but I don't know how to set that up. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of like, well, it's ridiculous because like you have to rely on all these other people, and it's like no one plays the game. Like everyone just goes off the game and stops playing. And like as soon as the wipes mentioned, more people stop playing. It's just a whole mess. Like it really does just suck. Like you're like then it's like I was planning on like just giving like a short tour of what was going on, all that jazz. But like and the thing about it is I can understand like a bunch of stuff like to do with like yeah if you're hosting it it costs you money like you spent like a lot of money on your hardware like it's running it is gonna keep its upkeep and all that um, so I get that I really do but a lot of the server hosts they're quite rude about it really like they're quite rude about like 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 when they shut down the thing like they're really quite up their own but like posterior about it, like it's like oh you should be grateful that I'm hosting it at all, like and it's like okay I get that like whatever you see, man. I don't really. It's just ridiculous, really. It's like well, yeah, it's funny. It's like I even like made a point that yeah before the wipe I would like to come on like actually record what I've done, but like it's sort of like of course that isn't going to happen for one person that's playing. Like they check like several times a day and no one's on, and it's like yeah, it's just kind of how it is at this point. Um, yeah, so basically overall, I've said all I can really say without like repeating myself too much, and like there's nothing interesting to show on the screen, so. It's already reached 7 minutes, so yeah, okay, I'll basically end off here, but saying like, yeah, this game is terrible. The server hosts pretty terrible. The community non-existent. Would not recommend buying this game at all. Like, it really just does suck. Like, yeah, if you want to play a game like this, you might as well just play Minecraft. It's fine. Although it's not really kind of like this. Like, but hell, a modded Minecraft server, you could probably achieve pretty much what this achieves. It's fine. Um, yeah, really, this game, just terrible game. Like, both times I played, like, on servers, it's just been an awful experience all around. Like, it's just like, yeah, all of a sudden the host decides, yeah, I want to wipe, and it's like, okay, well, cool. That's, or like, in this case, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna shut it down. Um, so yeah, it is kind of what it is. You know, maybe server based games aren't for me. That's another thing I might not be looking at. Maybe it's like other people like who play server based games regularly. They're like, ah, this is fine. This is standard par for the course, whatever, right? And it's like, okay, well, yeah, um, I can't really argue with that. But in my opinion, if that's how your game's gonna go, it's well, kind of just yeah, it's not really worth playing. But yeah, um, that's about it for this video. Um, thank you for listening to my rant, and I hope you all have a good day.